My Greatest Adventure number 6, the end of 3 stories, all combined into one issue. So let's start off with Robot Man, part 6, written by Matt Kindt, art by Scott Collins. We pick up inside of this bunker that is run by Dr. Turing, Mr. Turing, whatever it is. He's being attacked by some robot monkeys. Robot Man blasts out of the facility, burns up the monkeys in re-entry, and then just basically goes back in. And what's-her-face, Maddie, says, "Oh, Cliff, don't hurt him. I called Unreason, and they're here with a cleanup crew to help the island." But then Turing immediately just starts saying, like, "Yeah, so here's the thing. I'm the one who caused your car to crash because I wanted to see if the nanobots would do what they were going to do. I ruined your life, and basically I was trying to make this island be something I could experiment on, but because they're all mutated animals, I needed the real deal to come, so that's why I have you show up now." And Robot Man's, like, trying to kill him because how dare he ruin his life for something so stupid. But, of course, the Asimov's law of robotics would not allow him to harm another being. So Unreason, which I guess is just another one of those shady organizations, shows up, starts cleaning up the island, takes care of Turing, and Robot Man and Maddie fly off. And Robot Man reminisces on how he first met Maddie, and she showed compassion to him when he was still just figuring out who he was. And in the moment when Unreason was basically going to keep him around and run tests on him for the rest of his life, Maddie stepped in and let him live life on his own. So they arrive back at their home, which I think is just the Space Needle, but they arrive and basically Robot Man is like, "Hey, look, this wasn't your fault. You have no reason to feel guilty over me anymore. You can leave whenever you want." And it just shows another page or so of basically him using all of his robot sensors, whether he wants to or not, to realize that Maddie took that hard, and she's upset and she's sad that, like, she's caused pain to Robot Man or something. But Robot Man, of course, for his own law of robotics, he has brought harm to another person, so he feels bad. And then there's a giant sea monster off of the seaboard attacking an oil rig, and Robot Man swoops in to stop it because he's like, "Well, I'm going to try my damned hardest to put the man back in Robot Man." Da-da-da. Honestly, this read really, really poorly issue to issue. It might read well all at one go, but it just didn't have enough connecting threads to really make it good on its own. So overall, I wouldn't give it more than maybe a 6, 5.5, 6. So next up we got Garbage Man, story and art by Aaron Lopresti. And basically it is Garbage Man and the girl, whatever her name is. They're going to put their plan into motion in order to get the dirt on Titan Industry. And basically the dude shows up. He has security. She's like, "I told you to show up alone." And he's like, "Yeah, whatever. Anyway, give me the file." And she's like, "Nope, do the plan now." And the plan is basically Garbage Man just runs out and grabs him. So, yeah, there's a brief fight scene of him getting rid of the security, but then he gets his hands on the guy and he's just like, "I'm that guy you thought you killed." And he's like, "Oh my God, that's impossible. But of course, we can save you. We can get things fixed. I still have my notes." And then he's shot in the head by a sniper. And Garbage Man's like, "No, damn you." And then Batman shows up and he's like, "Hey, what's going on over here?" He's like, "I didn't kill this guy. It was a sniper." He's like, "Yeah, all right. Anyway, here's the thing. I did some more analysis on your Garbage Man form, and it turns out you don't have a human body under that. You are literally all garbage, and you just have consciousness. So there's nothing to turn back into. You're stuck like this." And he's like, "Oh, man, that sucks. Regardless, we can still get revenge on the company who did this and the guy in charge of the whole thing." So Batman and Garbage Man go and intimidate the guy. I can't even remember his name. The architect behind it all. Yeah, really, I have no clue what this guy's name is. But anyway, he's the one in charge of everything in Titan and the one who's making all the calls. And then it's basically say, like, "Here's the thing. We're going to put you through the justice system, and you're going to face what you did for killing Richard Morse. And I'm going to make sure that you're brought to justice." And then they just walk out, and the dude sees the file that they have on him, pulls out a gun from his drawer, and blows his brains out. And then we get one more page of Garbage Man talking to that sewer priest guy. And he's like, "Is that justice, priest? Is this really what it was all for?" And he's like, "You ever hear the story of Job? Job lost everything because of God making a bet with Satan, but then God gave it back to him twofold. Perhaps this just isn't the end of your story, Garbage Man. End of story of Garbage Man. I like that one a lot more. I think it's very well done in terms of the issue to issue, but it still does just have a thing of, oh, maybe we should have gotten to this main plot a little bit sooner so that we didn't have to just rush it so quickly at the end. So overall, I give that a 6.5. It's okay. And the last thing is Tanga, written and art by Kevin McGuire. And she's facing off against the big head guy, who I literally don't think is named in this entire issue, but regardless, the big head guy reveals that the entire plan was that the blue energy source isn't an energy source. It is a drug, and he's fooling this entire planet into believing that's an energy source, so that way they would put their faith in Za, who he installed, and Za would go after these monsters that are teleporting in, but it turns out the big head is the one who's teleporting them in anyway. So it was really just all on him to like fabricate a need for Za and then have the people praise him for succeeding. And then Tanga showed up and ruined it all because she's a girl, and Za was far too horny. So, yeah. And in the end, the big head just wants to know, who are you, Tanga? What are you? And Tanga is just so pissed off by the fact that this has all been just one big ruse. She literally nuclear explodes, kills everything around her, and she's like, maybe I'm a monster, maybe I'm a hero, I don't know, but I'm Tanga. And then she flies off back to the people who were helping her, and they're like, well, I mean, the people still believe you're evil, and there's not much we can do to change it. And she's like, well, what if you prove to them that the blue ore isn't a power source and it's a drug instead? And he's like, yes, we could use my new science equipment that's coming in. I had a ship that is supposed to be flying by any time now. And she's like, oh, yeah, I blew up that ship earlier. I'm sorry, it was a whole thing. And he's like, you blew up that was all of my savings. That was all my stuff. And she's like, I'm sorry, I'll pay you back. And she just stands there as everyone else walks away, staring at her disapprovingly. And she flies off. The entire townspeople are like, oh, no, the demon, run. And she's like, man, screw this planet. So she flies off into space, and she's like, well, 3 days on a planet, and I'm already despised. That's a new record. Guess I'll go this way. And then she flies off into the void, seeing what will happen next. I still don't understand what in the hell a Tanga is. Like, I guess that's the point, is that Tanga is just Tanga. But, like, so baffled by that series as a whole. At least I got some explanation in the end. So overall, I'll give that a 6, with the biggest flaw just being they were so hesitant to put out any exposition throughout the entire series. This issue is nothing but text balloons, like the whole way through. Fine, whatever. Overall, My Greatest Adventure, not the best anthology series. It definitely feels like none of these things deserve books, therefore we're throwing them here. Hope you like. And in that regard, I'm glad they're at least testing new things, but it definitely was not worth the price of admission for the most part. So yeah, My Greatest Adventure, not a great adventure.